As we reach the halfway point in Series 2 of Search for Hurt, let's take a look back at where we've come from. Series 1 star Matt Murphy achieved his goal of finding the hurt and decided it was high time to share it around. So he formed Team Search for Hurt and sent out an open invitation for athletes around Australia to apply.
I'd like to share with you guys my journey of my Search for Hurt.
The final 12 athletes were invited to our first ever Hurt Camp, a brutal sufferfest designed by our favourite sadist to push our contenders to their limits and beyond. So Matt could see who had the physical and mental qualities needed to join his team. 23-year-old Andrew Papadopoulos and 29-year-old Leah Richardson ultimately won the coveted spots, and so began their experience of a lifetime.
Bring it on, 2014, the year of Hurt. It's going to be great.
They'd be drip-fed their events one at a time, with just 30 days to prepare for each. Matt arranges a professional mentor who's a past or present legend in the required discipline. The mentor provides their basic training. Then Matt outlines a customized 30-day program to best prepare them for the challenge ahead. Their first challenge was the Bridge to Beach paddleboard race, where Leah really struggled to find her rhythm, and as a result, found the event testing and her result disappointing, while Pap was a lot more at ease on the water and managed to achieve his goal time. Next, they moved from the water to the bush for a 24-hour mountain bike event called the Mont. Here the roles were reversed, and Pap was well and truly out of his comfort zone. Ultimately, the event was postponed due to rain, and while they headed out to make the most of being there, both agreed that they dodged a big bullet as neither felt adequately prepared for a punishing race of that magnitude. Matt upped the stakes on their next event with a challenge that takes no prisoners, the North Face 100, a 100-kilometre ultra-marathon through the unforgiving Blue Mountains. Leah's extensive background in endurance events gave her the natural advantage, and she pushed through to finish a couple of hours ahead of Pap. The big guy really found the hurt in this event, but with limited training, he was still impressive, all by gritting his teeth, overcoming the pain, and ultimately making it to the finish. Pap and Leah have already pushed themselves well beyond their perceived limits, and we're only halfway through their Search for Hurt journey. So, where to next? It's only been 10 hours since the team finished the North Face 100-kilometre run, and Matt brings their very sore bodies in for a little debrief, and then to reveal their next surprise event.
I have heard rumours from the camera crew that it was, to say the least, a very a baptism of fitness, you could say. Huge effort, unbelievable. Sum it up for me first, Pap, hit me.
Man, that was my first running event ever. So I've never ran more than 21 Ks until I started training for it. And didn't matter how much training I did for it, I wasn't prepared really for the 100 Ks. I am shattered, absolutely shattered. I can't feel my legs. I have to lift my legs up off the seat to stand up, man. I need assistance to walk. It just killed me, absolutely killed me.
So how deep did you have to dig?
I definitely got to that dark space in my head. I almost collapsed, I almost passed out near the end. It was just every leg was just tough. It was definitely what I was looking for, man.
I've seen a little bit of footage because it's only about 10 hours ago that you finished, and yeah, there was some dark places there for you. And what about you, Leah?
It was really hard. Yeah, the later it gets, as soon as the darkness hits, it's hard out there. You're struggling to see. I just kept falling over. I mean,
all the time.
You've got your headlamps on, but it gets really hard out there. You're fatigued, it's dark, it's just really hard.
It's good. I love it. What about you? How deep did you have to dig?
Yeah, towards the end, it was, every step was really hurting.
Do you want the good news or do you want the bad news?
Good news.
I don't think that could be good news right now.
There's not. Your next task is GeoQuest, which is a 48-hour endurance challenge.
That's huge.
Mountain Designs GeoQuest, Australia's premier adventure race, which involves 48 hours of non-stop endurance racing in the major disciplines of trekking, mountain biking, kayaking, and navigation. It's the ultimate test of your physical and mental limits. This is certainly not your average weekend.
So North Face was hard. It was the most hardest thing I've done so far. Then Matt drops the bomb of us, a 48-hour adventure race. Now I've got all these ideas running through my head. I'm like, I just ran for 17 and a half hours. My body's broken. How am I meant to operate for 48 hours?
So we're going down to see a gentleman called Jarad Kohlar, who's one of the best adventure racers in Australia. And he's going to teach you guys how to paddle and to navigate. We don't want 2 days turning into 3 or 4 because you get lost out there. All right?
So, it's straight on a plane and off to Melbourne.
We had to make our way down to Melbourne to see our next mentor, Jarad. It's safe to say that I was in excruciating pain, and we're on a plane in a little tight, confined spot. And there's no way I could sit there static for a couple of hours. I had to get up and do some lunges and stretch throughout down the aisles. I was getting some odd looks, but I didn't care. I had to move.
Now that they're off the plane, the team are about to get hit with their biggest challenge straight away, getting out of the airport.
My feet feel like they're the size of watermelons and on fire. My ankle is about to blow up. My knee just doesn't like me at all.
We're just throwing them in the deep end to get ready for GeoQuest. You have to have the most amount of time to prepare for these events.
It's time for Leah and Pat to meet their mentor, Jarad Kohlar. So let's get a little insight into who he is.
But we heard you did the GeoQuest last year.
Yeah. So raced with Team MacPack last year and we won, which was pretty cool. And
First place, wow.
yeah. And also did the North Face 50 last year, so I kind of know how your legs are feeling.
Yeah.
The name Jarad Kohlar is synonymous with Australian adventure sports, with an impressive resume of race wins across numerous adventure pursuit disciplines, including multisport, paddling, mountain biking, trail running, and adventure racing. Jarad personifies what adventure sport is all about: tough, eclectic, fun-loving, and a little bit wild.
If you can kind of have that really good teamwork, and also really good navigation and good strategy, then you're gonna, get the best result that you guys can.
If there's anyone that we'd want to send Andrew and Leah to learn about adventure racing, it's this guy.
Adventure sports is a connecting element for me to my body, my friends, my family, my job, the environment that I live in, and the flora and fauna that lives in that environment. If I get out there and have an adventure, then I feel like I'm more connected to all those aspects of my life.
He spent a lot of time not only in Australia racing, but doing some of the biggest adventure races around the world. And the beauty of that is that he's experienced all the little things that can go wrong. And with Andrew and Leah, I dare say a lot of those little things will go wrong.
So yeah, we'll get stuck into it.
Jared's just prepping our kayak, ready to go out in the ocean. And he told me that if you're top heavy, it's actually a disadvantage when you think it would be. You'd be using all your upper body muscle groups, but he said if you're when you're top heavy, you sway a lot more, and that way you're going to probably fall in. So yeah, I think I'd be capsizing a lot.
All right, so basically this is called your paddling position. It's pretty much 80% technique, you know. The whole stroke doesn't matter how big and strong you are, it's how efficient and effective your technique is.
The guys are getting set to learn paddling technique. In the meantime, we're going to head over to Matt, who has some unfinished business with our North Face 100 mentor, Brendan Davies.
I'm a man of my word, and Brendan Davies and I made a bet about 2 weeks ago on Pap and Leah at the North Face. And who's your bet to be first across the line if either of them are going to finish?
If I had to pick someone, I reckon Leah's a bit of a stayer.
I've actually had to come down here to St Ives Showground to pay my dues because I lost. Hello, mate.
Hey, Matt.
Oh God, what do you got in store for me?
Well, mate, this is my little secret training weapon that I've been known to use time to time. But today I'm just here to sit back and have a bit of a read of my Search4Hurt mag while you pull me around for a few reps of the oval, I reckon.
Okay, all right. So let's show me what I got to do.
Strap you up.
Yeah, strap me up.
Just around your hips, mate.
And how long am I on this for?
Well, I'd like you to pick the pace up a bit if possible. Faster!
I'm trying.
Mate, come on! Faster! Come on, Matt! Come on, buddy!
Okay, we'll leave Matt to it for now, and we'll check up on him later.
With the stroke, you got 4 key areas. The first one is the catch. So I'll guide you through this. The catch is as close to the boat as possible and as far forward as possible, but you don't want to lean forward with your upper body. So your back always stays up nice and straight. Okay, when you've caught the water, then you enter what's called the drive phase. So the drive, if you're paddling with your left hand, it's your left heel that drives forward, and you swivel forward with your right hip and you rotate around the stroke, okay? And see how the blade is nice and vertical in the water?
What you need to remember is that you're paddling for so long in GeoQuest that if you don't have the right technique, you're going to suffer pretty bad. You're going to fatigue really fast. Certain muscle groups are going to get very, very tired and possibly cramp. And not only that, you're going to let the whole team down because you're either having to stop completely or your stroke rate's going to have to drop, and therefore the team's going to go slower.
You know, your whole core, all your lats are involved in the stroke. Okay, so your biceps and your triceps and your forearms are hardly doing anything. It's all in the core.
Jarad finishes up on some basics, including how to steer. And now it's time to put all the beach work into action.
Freezing down here in Melbourne today, and I'm just trying to sit in without falling over and making a fool of myself and getting drenched. So that's step 1 completed. Finesse. Don't muscle it.
Woo! It's a lot lovelier!
Don't fall!
Hey!
So we were working on our open sea kayaking with our mentor, Jarad, and he put a little race between Leah and I to get around these buoys that were out in the ocean. He goes, start from the beach, work your way around and paddle back.
Head out and around the 2 yellow markers. So she's got good torso rotation there. Now if we look at Pat, you know, there's hardly any torso rotation there, and he's just relying on just all his strength basically. Woo! Good work, Leah. Doing it.
She's not here in this interview. You'll see on the film she came first, but you know, I had to let her win at something, you know. Not really, no. She had actually a lot better technique than me. I was focusing more on just brute strength. But with kayaking, as you can see, that it really comes down to technique. So, well done, Leah.
Your mind is so much more powerful than your body, you know. So if your mind wants to do something, it can basically achieve anything, even if your body says no. But how about we go up and we'll grab the double and we can give you guys a shot on a double.
What you need to remember is that you're paddling for so long in GeoQuest that if you don't have the right technique, you're going to suffer pretty bad.
I'm just trying to balance. Why is someone staying? Oh, I'm shadowing you, go.
Okay, let's go right.
You're going to fatigue really fast. Certain muscle groups are going to get very, very tired and possibly cramp.
But there's a lot of talking, so obviously, oh, that's not good teamwork happening there.
And not only that, you're going to let the whole team down because you're either having to stop completely or your stroke rate's going to have to drop, and therefore the team's going to go slower.
You can see now they're having moments of really good paddling where they're shadowing one another, and then when their boat dips or leans to one side and when they get out of time, the speed of the boat slows right up. Considering this is their first paddle, they're doing amazingly well. They're paddling a V10 double, which is an advanced ski. Pat, that was the best I've seen you paddle all day. You've slowed your stroke rate down and shadowing in the front, and everything was engaged at the right time.
A lot more stable and efficient.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it comes down to, is conserving energy and being as efficient as possible with each stroke.
Yeah.
And before I was just muscling it out and burning everything out real quick.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Let's see how Matt is faring after losing that bet. Matt's starting to find the going pretty tough and tries to get his own back on Brendan. You shouldn't have done that, Matt. Brendan will only hit back harder.
The GeoQuest involves 4 different, events in one. First of all, we've got running, which they've done the North Face. Then they've got mountain bike riding, which they've done the Mont. Then they've got paddling, which is a steep learning curve. So that's one to get their heads around. But I think the hardest one here is the navigation aspect.
The best thing with navigation is trial and error, because when you make a mistake, you're never going to do the same. Well, hopefully you don't repeat that. This is similar to the maps that you'll get during GeoQuest. I've already chucked some checkpoints out in Westgate Park. So we're going to go and try and find those checkpoints. It's only about a 5 or 6K run. Does that sound good?
Well, I don't know, my legs are pretty shot. Do we have to run this?
Well, Search4Hurt, isn't it? You did the North Face yesterday, mate.
Yeah.
So you've had 24 hours to recover from that. So
Just get a bit
I
of
I don't hear everyone complaining.
Very hard.
Okay, let's do it. I'll sprint.
All right, let's go. This top bit here is for taking bearings. So north, you got to line up north in the shed, and then you can go on a bearing. On the map, you've got north reference points here, so it's just to orientate the map.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so if that's north, then you line up north with north on the map.
Okay.
If you send the whole team in the wrong direction and you're tired and you go 2 kilometres one way the wrong way and then 2 kilometres back, that's potentially an hour that you've made your team suffer. And when you're tired, you don't deal with someone making the wrong decision very well.
I've never used this.
Yeah,
Never used a
so
compass
there's
properly.
also some interesting facial expressions going on here, so it should be good fun when we get out there.
Time's running out. The team have to catch a flight back home soon, and so have a chance to do this quick orienteering test.
I did get to the point of the railway line
Yep.
and the track,
Yep.
and I think I must have turned too early to come around this.
That was pretty good. Getting the 3 checkpoints and making it back here. Get a ball?
Yeah.
In case you missed it, the big fella displays the correct running technique. When you two sort of run, that is.
Yeah.
All I want to do is just wrap around here and go straight, kind of thing, under this bridge, and
Yeah,
that's where we are now.
You know, at that stage, you're heading west,
Yeah,
which is like the wrong direction. So all you need to do is look at the compass, and the compass never lies.
That's right. That's all right. What I learned, like I took into consideration, he said you rather go twice as slow in the right direction than twice as fast in the wrong direction, which is exactly what I learned.
Yeah. Good luck. All right. Hopefully it's only, 48 hours of hurt, not 60.
No.
Robert, Matt! 20 sit-ups, mate! 8, 9, 10, 17, 18, 19, 20. Away we go! Faster, Matt! Come on! Alright, Matt! Test the bar! 1, 30, 40, 28, 29, 30. Righto, Matt. I want to see last 200 metres as hard as you got, and that'll be it. You can have a rest then. You ready? Well done, mate. Good effort.
I won't be losing a bet to you again in a hurry.
I certainly won't be either.
Oh, that was tough, man.
I'm glad it wasn't me.
Pap, I'm coming to get you, you bugger.
Thank you, Leah.
Next time on Search for Hurt, we send for some reinforcements from Hurt Camp and add 2 more to the crew to help tackle the GeoQuest.
Make ourselves a raft that'll hopefully float.
Pap and Leah are in over their heads.
What on earth are these guys doing?
Kayaking, biking,
We've only got 47 hours and 45 minutes to go.
33.5 hours ago, we started.
navigation.
We've actually just taken a wrong turn.
Do they get the help they need?
No navigation skills.
All 4 are going to suffer 48 hours of pure hurt, testing stamina, endurance, and mental resilience.
We lost a member.
All this is enough to make you go stir crazy.
It's going to take a while, hey?
You'll be right. Well, it's a Search for Hurt. This is what you signed up for.